All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience. I sincerely apologize. There have been some scheduling confusion in terms of the webinar time. I completely understand if you need to leave early. There will be a webinar recording available for all of the attendees sent via email. The recording will also be available in the monday.com Academy as well as our YouTube channel in the future. If you do have some additional time to continue with us, I would love your company. Again, I completely understand if you need to hop off. Thank you again so much for all of your patience. So I will cut all of our corners. Let's get started. I know that we have all been waiting. So again, thank you for joining us today. My name is Shannon Tao. I am a customer experience manager here at monday.com. And joining us today are my colleagues Lamia Rahman and Olivia Duck, who you may be familiar with already in the chat. They may have been answering your questions. If you need to turn on closed captioning, please do so if necessary. And at any point, if you cannot hear me or see my screen, please let us know in the chat box so we can address it promptly. If you need to step away from the webinar, again, the session will be recorded for everyone for you to review on your own time. It's coming to you soon via email. And again, next week, the recording will be available in the monday.com Academy and the YouTube channel. Today, Lamia and Olivia will be helping me to answer all of your questions in real time. We will be reviewing the questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen. You'll notice that there are two chat boxes, one for the standard Zoom chat and one for the Q&A box. So please make sure that you are putting questions in the Q&A chat. I'm going to do my best to review the standard Zoom chat for any comments, but again, all questions in the Q&A chat. All right. Today's session is going to comprise of two parts. If you've attended sessions in the past, we have a demo portion where I will walk through all of our features as well as a Q&A session towards the end. For today's agenda, I am going to be walking us through the February 2024 WOW Hackathon, the new reply from email feature, Monday Docs dynamic text within items, automations moving to MondayDB, automation blocks for Monday AI, and the new connections management pages for integrations, WorkCanvas synced templates, and our app of the month digital assets repository. And then of course, we'll close out with a Q&A session. Let's get started. We are going to cover the February 2024 WOW Hackathon, and this is a day that our developers come together globally to take a look at all of your submitted feedback and requests directly and implement all of those changes in real time. So the hackathon occurred on February 5th, and this was hosted live globally via Zoom and over our Facebook group page on live video. If you joined us then, you may have seen our devs working in real time to implement your changes. Through the WOW Hackathon, our developers hope to dramatically uplift Monday's product experience for users. And in the past year, we've created a new experience standard to score and measure the usability and experience on the monday.com platform. This is something that is new, and now every feature that is released must meet a score of 7 out of 8 before we release it to the public. We want to make sure that when you're using monday.com, it's a trustworthy experience. You have an exceptional time navigating and using the platform for your daily workflow needs. And so, how did our devs collect or receive all of the feedback from users? There was a direct form shared with multiple users, multiple accounts, where you could submit your requests directly to our directors to review here. And all of those feature requests lived on a board for our developers to review during the WOW hackathon. And if you have contacted Monday support before and they've shared the community forum page with you to submit a feature request directly, this is updated and reviewed in real time by our developers. We really value your feedback and input, and they scoured the community forum for feedback requests that they could implement throughout the hackathon. So again, your feedback is not going unheard or dismissed. Our developers do definitely check out all of the submissions that you share with them. And I quickly want to cover the three main pillars that go into or that are the foundation behind all of these changes when it comes to creating an exceptional experience for users on the platform. First, we want to make sure that the platform is approachable for you to use, right? We want to make sure that when you click on a button, you know exactly what it's going to do. There are no surprises there and there's no confusion. We want to make sure that the platform is consistent, it's easy to use, it's intuitive. You can rely on your automations, for example, to do exactly as all of the actions that you've programmed the automation to do when you close out a form or you share that form link with someone external to Monday. It's consistent, easy to use. They know exactly where to go to enter in all of their responses and to ensure that you receive those responses internally and can get back to them. And then, of course, we want to make sure that your experience is seamless, right? All of your expectations go above and beyond what you could ask for in our platform. And whether that is the size of the platform adjusting to different devices that you're using monday.com on, whether that is E&A, if that is a feature that you use in Monday Sales CRM, all of those minute details about buttons, navigating, scrolling, we want to make sure that you have a seamless experience and that you continue to share your feedback with us. So, a quick highlight of those main pillars for you all. And I also want to jump into some of those changes that were implemented on February 5th by our developers. Among those fixes were adjusting the copy, so the text and the language that you see every day on the monday.com platform, making sure that it's clear, easy to read and consume. We also wanted to make sure that boxes were, again, more responsive to different screen sizes. Drop-down mentions now have a search option for you. Text boxes matching the size of your text, and then aligning all of the monday.com icons and design. If you are navigating automations, for example, on the different products, you'll notice that your automations are set to a certain color now, depending on the product that you're using automations on. So just quick fixes there. And to give you some visual examples, here is an example of copy changes as well as changes to the drop-down menu in work forms. You can see a quick before and the after, just a little bit more clear in terms of the different drop-down menu options available. Here is another example with adjustments made to icons, specifically on a board. This is the before and the after. Specifically, this is referencing the viewing or board activity updates made on a board that you see in the upper right-hand corner here next to the invite button. And outside of the desktop app and the platform on a web browser, there were also changes made to the mobile app. So again, here is the before and the after, specifically for the search everything feature on the mobile app. You can see that instead of this small search icon, Here, we now have a search bar, and the recent search icons here are a little bit different. I also wanted to highlight some fun Easter eggs, like Monday themed animations that our devs also implemented just to spruce up the platform a little more. So I'll play this short clip to showcase one of the Easter eggs that was dropped. And as you can see, there are some fun animations that were added for board titles, changing the coloring, the confetti for Monday board titles. And if that is something that you would not like to see on your board, all of these features, particularly the title animations, can be turned off. But these are just a few examples of quick changes and implementations that our devs put together from the WOW hackathon in February. And now we are going to jump into the demo portion. I want to respect everyone's time. I know that we've all been waiting. We'll hop right into the platform. I'll open up my team task board, and our first feature referencing our agenda is the reply from email feature. So in the past, when you're communicating with your team members or your colleagues and you're leaving updates in the update section, you may have noticed in the past that when you open up an email, so I'll navigate to my email and open up this update left here, you'll see that you have the option to reply on monday.com, and that's great. However, for those of us who have a busy schedule and you already are toggling between millions of tabs, similar to myself here, as we can see, there is a lot of time that we need to prioritize managing other tasks and responsibilities, and toggling between the different tabs in your inbox and the Monday board can be a little tedious and eat up time that you could be using efficiently and effectively. So now, if I scroll down, you'll notice that there is this text that displays reply to this email, and it will magically appear in Monday. So now, if I were to click reply and send a response back, you'll notice that my item pulse is included here. So this is the email address specific to my update section. And when I send my response, this will update directly in the update section. So if I navigate to my board, and I believe it was on this board, I do have quite a few boards, so bear with me. Now, I may not be able to show you where that message went. I am so sorry. I have quite a few demo boards that I have not pulled up in the time constraints before this webinar, but when you respond to the reply, and we'll be making updates as well, where you should see a new box that appears. This has not been released in this iteration, but you should see a clear box where you can enter in your reply directly in that box, and it will populate in the updates section. And I do want to clarify that this is specific to Gmail inboxes and any email domains that end in mail.ru. So this feature that is being added to the monday.com world, reply from email, is specific to Gmail and mail.ru email domains. So if you're using Outlook, this isn't a feature that is available to you just yet. This is something under consideration at this time, but I wanted to distinctly clarify that as well. And along that same vein, this feature is only available for updates in the updates section, and it cannot contain any mentions, pictures, or files. So when I reply in my email, I cannot reply with a mention as Stephen is listed here. I can only send plain text formatting. So I do want to make those distinctions and clarifications for you all today. All right, we are going to move back to my board. And for this next feature, I'm going to open up my invoice board. So on my 2024 invoices board, this is a demo board that I've created to capture invoices for a small construction company. If I click into each item on the board, as I'm doing here, you'll notice that I have the Quotes and Invoices app here, and this is useful if I'd like to generate a template invoicing document for each item. Many users also opt to use DocuGen or PandaDoc from the app marketplace, but perhaps you'd like to generate your own invoicing document without any external apps. And I think that the dynamic text in Monday Docs feature gives you a great opportunity to do so. So I am going to click out of this screen and scroll to the left-hand side of my workspace. You'll see that I already have a Monday doc here that I've created as a template invoice document. And if you're unfamiliar with this feature, you can embed your Monday board directly onto a Monday doc. But if I'm going to be printing and sharing my invoicing document with customers, with clientele, or external stakeholders, it's not the most practical use of my invoicing document to link or embed that board here, right? I want to make sure that this document looks professional, it's easy to read. And so when I print out my invoicing document, I want to be able to pull in all of the information from my board as opposed to embedding that board for clientele or customers to view when they receive this document. So, if I head back to my 2024 invoices board, we're going to learn how we can change or utilize this existing document, but also integrate the dynamic text feature. This is going to really close the gap. And if I scroll to the right-hand side, you'll see that I have two columns in particular at the end, a Monday doc column and a files column. And the new feature will allow me to pull existing values from my board wherever my Monday doc is located. So if I've embedded or connected that template to this first item, that is going to be the item that the information is pulled from into my Monday doc. For today's demo purposes, I'm going to utilize the files column. This in particular allows me to pull in an existing Monday doc template. So if I were to give any recommendations, I would say if you're going to utilize the dynamic text feature right now, I would suggest adding a files column as opposed to your Monday doc column. This can still pull in dynamic text, but for this specific use case, because I already have an existing invoice document, I want to make sure that I pull up that template for me to use. So we'll go ahead and add that doc here. Again, I clicked into the file icon, plus icon, selected doc, and here you'll see there's an option to select an existing doc template. So I'll go ahead and search for my invoice document here. There it is. We'll go ahead, use this template and add it to the board. Awesome. And again, because I no longer need this embedded board, we're going to go ahead and delete this. And let's learn how to integrate Monday dynamic text. We are going to click into this box, for example. And now when I highlight the text, you'll see that there are quite a few options here. But instead of selecting one of those options, I am simply going to select one of my bracket characters here. And there we go. Just had to wait for that pop-up to appear. You'll see that this is still in beta, so we are still adding more values that you can pull into the doc. But once I click on column values, and then I click on one of these columns below, this will pull in that value in real time to the selected area. So of course, we are referring to the address for this specific item. So I'm going to simply find the column that exists for my address, and there it will populate that address as well. And again, this is from my template. I'll delete the placeholder value. And again, we're going to click on that bracket character, click column values, and now I can pull in the item name, the client name. And of course, this is all placeholder information, so this will appear as client name. But in that same vein, for all of these other sections, whether it is the values, the quantity, anything that you're looking to include in your invoicing document, you can populate that in real time on your Monday doc to customize this document for yourself, for internal use, and for your clientele. I do want to note again, I reiterated this earlier, but at this time, the Monday Doc dynamic text feature is only pertinent to the item that that Monday Doc is connected to or embedded within. So if I was looking to populate values for my entire board, this isn't possible yet with the dynamic text feature. It will only pull in the values for this specific item. We can definitely revisit this again in the Q&A session if anyone has specific questions. For now, I'm going to toggle to a different tab, the DB website, to introduce to you all a new update. In January, if you attended the webinar, I shared how MondayDB would be expanding to include more items and connected boards for boards as well as dashboards. And you can learn more about all of those updates here on the site. And this month in particular, we are excited to share that automations have also migrated over to MondayDB as well. This effort will help to boost the performance of your automation triggers and actions, and the hope is no more regressions. This move will also push automations to run faster on large boards, especially with boards that have up to 100,000 items. This decision will also support our developers' work to push out more capabilities for you all, such as clearing an entire column on your board, more automated actions for sub items, which I know we are all waiting for, as well as supporting the mirror column and all column values for a mirror column when it comes to automation. So definitely stay tuned for all of those big releases. This change will definitely help our developers implement more updates on the platform. We'll head back to my board. We're going to stay in the world of automations for just a moment longer, but now I am going to open up my maintenance request form here. So if you have played around with the Monday AI feature, so this icon here, our Monday AI assistant, you may have used it to generate a task or two. If I click on the icon, you'll see that there is a task generator action. But now you'll also notice that there is a new action here titled Categorize by AI. Clicking on this icon will redirect you to the Automation Center, and you'll see that there are several templates here that you can utilize and program Monday AI to complete specific actions for you. For example, on this board, I created a form to track and manage maintenance requests for three different apartment complexes. I have three maintenance crew members who are on a tight schedule, driving across the city to manage incoming requests on a weekly basis. They're always on a go, and I have different tasks and timelines that I need to oversee as well. I don't have any additional admin help at this time, but I need to make sure we meet the needs and demands of my tenants. And Monday AI, especially automation blocks, which is this specific action, it is titled Automation Blocks, the feature, can help to streamline the process of managing all of those requests. So anytime an incoming request is submitted on the board, as you can see here, here is a test submission. I want Monday AI to summarize the request urgency as well as the tenant sentiment, and also provide an overall summary of the request and the action items that I'd like my maintenance crew to fulfill. So prior to automation blocks, I created an automation here that notifies me whenever an incoming request is submitted. I would then navigate to the board, manually review the request, and update all of those columns as necessary. And I also have additional custom automations here that I've set up to assign and notify all of my maintenance crew members when I update the urgency of each request. So that is a lot of manual work that I have to maintain on a daily basis on top of my external responsibilities. But with Monday AI automation blocks, I can create a custom automation to perform all of those tasks for me to cut down on my personal manual work. So let's revisit my board again. We have two status columns that I want Monday AI to update, as well as two text columns here. When I click on this button, I have a button, Run Monday AI. When I click on the button, I want Monday AI to perform all of those tasks. So we'll visit the Automation Center again, and I am going to set up a custom automation. We'll build this together. For my trigger action, I am going to select when button is clicked. We'll complete this field with the relevant button column. And now we are going to scroll down and you'll see that there are three custom actions that I can program. For our first action, I am going to select Categorize by AI text column. And this allows Monday AI to read and identify the text that is submitted in the form, so specifically the description box or question field in my form that my tenant is completing, and then categorize, in this case, the request urgency. So I'll go ahead and complete these fields. Again, I'm going to select that question field that they are completing, and then we'll select that first status column. We'll set up a similar action, but this time, Monday AI is going to read and identify the tenant sentiment to update that second status column. And now for the next two actions or the final two actions, Monday AI is going to perform a much more complex action. We'll click to add a new action here, and I'm going to select that bottom action, custom block by AI, custom block. And when I click into the use AI field, this is where I set very specific instructions for Monday AI to perform. So in particular, for this first Monday AI action, I am going to program Monday AI to write a summary of the request in, and I'm going to utilize the auto-populated field. I want to be very specific about the column that Monday AI is going to review. So here I have auto-populated that question field from my form. So write a summary of the request in selected column. And we want this to populate in our first text column, summary of maintenance request needs and issues. Again, we'll perform a similar action, but this time we want to program Monday AI to summarize action items for our maintenance crew. So again, let's program Monday AI to write two action items for the maintenance crew based on, and then again, select that auto-populated field. And this time it's going to auto-populate our second text column. So here are our four actions. The first two, Monday AI is categorizing the urgency and sentiment. And the last two actions, we are programming Monday AI to complete specific actions, such as a summary and a summary of the action items. So we'll create the automation. And right before I trigger the automation, I do want to highlight that in my status columns, which Monday AI will be categorizing, I am going to be particularly picky or specific, I should say, about the language that I am using. So I am specifically stating low urgency, urgent, high urgency. And I'm also being very specific about the user or the tenant sentiment in this status column. So just something to consider when you are programming Monday AI to complete certain actions. Even in the automation that I have set up, I try to be very simplistic but also concise with my language so that Monday AI understands what I would like it to do. And now we are going to test this in real time. So again, here is the incoming request that was submitted. And I'm going to click the button here, which should trigger all of those Monday AI actions. All right, so as you can all see, the status was updated to urgent for urgency. The tenant is quite angry, and we have a summary of the issue. So requesting immediate repairs to the bathroom due to mold on the wall behind the toilet, vinyl floor coming up, and leaking that has soaked everything around the toilet. And the two action items for my maintenance crew: repair the mold on the wall behind the toilet, fix the leaking, and replace the vinyl floor by the toilet. And of course, you can see all of my other custom automations have kicked in to notify my crew member, Marielle, because the request urgency is urgent. So I think this is pretty neat if you are looking to cut down on any manual work in your workflow. Definitely give Monday AI a try. We are now going to shift gears just a little bit and jump into integrations. So I'm going to open up the Automation Center again. And if you have reviewed the Run History section or any of the other tabs, such as usage within the Automation Center, you'll notice that there have been many changes and improvements that have been made to streamline all of the data about your automations and integrations. So you can review all of your automations and integration recipes in one place, of course, from this tab here. But the usage page now provides you with a much more thorough breakdown of all of those things in one space. And in that same vein, while I can toggle to the integration section here for usage, there was not a central place to review all of your existing connections for any integrations that are set up. But if I toggle back to the center, you'll notice that there is a new tab where usage used to be. Here it is now. There is a tab titled Connections, and here you can review all of your integration connections in one place and easily manage or troubleshoot the connection. So I can see the app or the platform that is integrated with Monday. Here is the existing connection. So specifically for webhooks, this is the URL that is used by webhooks, the board that this integration exists on, how many automations or integration recipes are tied to webhooks, for example, when the connection was last updated, and whether or not it's still active or is it deactivated or disconnected. From the three dot menu here, you can reconnect all of those connections easily. And if you choose to delete that connection, you can also do so from the same place. I think this is going to come in handy, especially if you're working across several different boards. We, of course, do not remember all of the different locations where we have set up connections or automations in particular. So this will definitely come in handy. And as an admin user, you may need to step in to manage connections for users at a high level across your entire account. So if you are an admin user, and you open up your avatar icon and click on administration, there is now I'm sorry, let me do this in my demo account. I am currently demoing on Monday, but if you go to your administration tab, here, specifically in the settings, you'll see there is a new section here, connections, and this allows you to view in the same vein that I showed on the Automation Center on a board individually, the ability to reconnect or delete integrations here. And this is across the entire account. You can also view who is the owner if you need to contact that person to update them about incorrect usage of an app, or if you need to notify them before transferring ownership to yourself. So for security and compliance measures, this allows you as an admin user to manage those connections from a high level view. And for our very last feature, this is something that I'm actually very excited to share and present today because when I learned about the feature, it felt like I was witnessing technology genius. This feature is tied to the WorkCanvas product. So here I am logged in WorkCanvas itself. And if you are unfamiliar with WorkCanvas, it is an online digital whiteboard that can be used for creating flowcharts, as you can see here. Um, if you're looking to design a new store for floor plan, brainstorm, whatever the use case may be, this is a virtual whiteboard space for you to do that and much more, and can be used at an individual capacity as well as with your team. If you're wondering how can you access WorkCanvas, you can navigate to WorkCanvas on the website itself. So again, this is a product that you must add to your Monday account. In your Monday account, if I go back from this waffle icon, if I select Explore More Products, you can also add WorkCanvas and sync it to your account this way as well. But I'll navigate back to WorkCanvas. Today, I am going to introduce and demonstrate how to use the new WorkCanvas templates. So if I were to click on template library here and I scroll down, there is a new section here called synced templates. And what is super exciting about the synced templates feature that has just been added to the product is that now when I select on any of these sync templates, you'll notice that there is a Monday icon in the upper right-hand corner. And anytime that you select to use a template, a Monday board will be created connected to that template in your account. So for example, I have this project timeline synced WorkCanvas template. Let's open it up. And here I have my basic template structure, but you'll also notice if I scroll or zoom in that there are blocks that appear in WorkCanvas, and all of these are synced, as you can see on the left-hand side here, to an existing item in Monday. So here is the board that was created when that template was installed in WorkCanvas. And what is really exciting is if I were to update this, so if I change advanced data analytics to football, and I go to my board, let's search for that, advanced data analytics, you'll see that that category status label has been updated in real time. So any changes that you make here to an item block in the WorkCanvas template will also be synced and updated in real time to your Monday board. And if I scroll to the left here, you'll see that all of these different categories also sync in real time to your Monday board. So here is my category column here, all of those labels that you see in Monday Work Canvas. And let's say that I were to change this to racing. This should update where this moves and changes within Monday as well. So I think this is a really great opportunity, especially if you're working with a large group of folks who all learn and think differently, right? We have our visual learners, our audio learners, folks that would prefer to join a meeting and look at a board. Maybe they're more linear thinking. And those of us, like myself, who are a little bit more visual when it comes to how we engage or learn. And so this Monday WorkCanvas template exists so that both people can join a meeting and engage throughout the entire meeting. And so outside of this project template, a project timeline template, if we go back to my WorkCanvas homepage, I just want to quickly highlight the other templates that are available. So at this time, we have some matrices for prioritizing your tasks, a project kickoff template, marketing, again, campaign management tied to marketing, a sales account planning, and a few more. So I think this is really exciting, really ingenious. And with that, we are going to wrap up with our app of the month, which is Digital Assets Repository. So I'll head back to the platform just to showcase how you can find the app in the app marketplace. If you're using a different iteration of Monday, you might see a puzzle icon in the upper right-hand corner that is synonymous to this marketplace icon that you see here. So whether you have the shop icon or the puzzle icon, this will open up the app marketplace, and we'll go ahead and search for digital assets repository. So here it is. I will show the demo video in just a moment, but before we dive into the video, I do want to quickly highlight that any app that you add from the app marketplace can only be installed by admin users. So if you are a member in the account, you will have to request permission to install the app. And then additionally, all of the apps in the marketplace are created by external developers. So if you have any specific questions about the functionality of the app, or you're having trouble and need to work with the technical team or a support team to troubleshoot the behavior that you're experiencing, when you open up an app in the app marketplace, you'll find either a support link or a contact developer link that will redirect you to speak with their team directly. Here is just some examples of some context that you can find for each app. And in particular, you'll notice that this app does require a paid plan or a paid subscription for the app. It does allow you to trial the app for 14 days free, of course. So to close out the demo portion, I am going to share this video to demo the app for you all. I'm going to check the chat just to make sure that you can all hear. So please let me know if you can hear this when I press play. Thank you, Erin. Let me exit. I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment and make sure that the correct permissions are set. Share sound. All right, I'm going to click play again. All right. Thank you, Kate and Lindsay. I am not sure why the sound is not playing. I am going to navigate back to the app marketplace. Thank you all. I know that this has been quite a frustrating webinar as you've all had to wait for me. Let me play this video here in hopes that the audio plays for us all. So in a nutshell, to summarize the app, you can use it to customize a central view of all of your assets. So if you're familiar with the files gallery view, right, this provides you with an opportunity. I'll quickly add it just to demo. Right, we have the files gallery view, and this allows you to centralize all of your files. But If you're looking to embed other social media links, other forms of files that exist now in the wild, wild world of the web, this app, the Digital Assets Repository app, I should say, allows you to centralize all of those things. So whether that is a YouTube video link, your PDF files, Google Sheets, etc., that app will allow you to embed all of those in one place on your boards and dashboards. With that said, I do want to respect everyone's time. So if you need to go, that is completely understandable. But I do want to allot at least 15 minutes for Q&A. Again, I thank you all for being patient with me today, patient with our team. But I am ready for all of your questions. I have both the chat as well as the Q&A open. I also want to thank Olivia and Lamia for being super awesome, keeping you all informed as I jumped onto the webinar late and answering your questions throughout the webinar today. But let's go ahead and take a look at your questions. I'm going to start with the Q&A box first. So just want to note that I will be reviewing the Q&A box for questions. Okay, so I see a question. Is it possible to auto-populate the item title with content from the other column? So I'm assuming this is in regards to, let's go back to my maintenance request form, the Monday AI feature, custom automation blocks. So if you are referring to other items, right, columns or the item name from other items, that would not be possible. So again, actually, it was not on this. My apologies. It was on my invoices board. The dynamic text feature. My apologies. So I believe this question is in regards to the dynamic text feature. So just to reiterate, if I were to connect or embed a Monday doc to this item, for example, when I go in to enter in my dynamic text, it will only pull in the column values for that particular item. So because this doc exists here, I can only pull in values from the columns for that item. All right. Is there a location to find best practices on how to set up boards and thought starts, especially for a startup? So I am going to drop the link to our Monday YouTube playlist. I'll put this in the chat. So there are some quick tutorials that you can find here that I have just dropped in the chat. This is a great place to start. Um, if you are looking for templates that you can install that other users have created for their own use cases, Monday Spaces is a great place to check out. So you can install any template board that a different user from a different account has shared in Monday Spaces. Who asked the question? Jesse. Jesse, there is in particular an implementation template, if I can find it here. But you can find it on Monday Workspaces. Again, I have shared that there. Um, there is in particular a board that you can install. It's called um, implementation something. Let's see if I can find it for you. Implementation kit right here. So this actually was created by one of our implementation consultants here at monday.com. So this I think is a really great start for you, Jesse. It has quick little tutorials and how-tos built into the board itself. So you can use the board as a learning hub. And I did see Matt Frost posted, yes, partners. The next question is, how do we go about onboarding for our company, or who do we contact? So again, this implementation kit is a great place to start. But if you're looking for something more tailored and customized, I would recommend that you look into Monday Partners. I will drop this link in the Zoom chat as well for you all. For Monday support, we can definitely jump on Zoom and help you troubleshoot or walk through specific features, but at this time, we don't provide onboarding support. So I am going to link this, exclude the United States filter, refresh, and drop this in the link. So if you're looking for customized onboarding services, yes, Elaine, I can definitely link this. Here is the implementation kit. All right, Matt, if you change the template structure, will all of the boards generated from it change? So that is a really great question. Let's say I have, for example, I have this template board here. If you're referring to a template board, if you have a template board, and you create a board, let's say board A from this template board, but I come back to the original template and update it, board A will not be updated, but any board created after board A with the newly updated template will have those new changes. So it will not sync the changes from the template board to all of the boards created from that template board. Let me know if that is what you were referring to, Matt. We have a question about apps. So where do I determine the package and what if any apps are included? I am wondering, this was from Terry. I'm wondering if you are referring to um, the package of your plan and apps that are included with your plan. Let me know if that is what you're referring to. But when you purchase a paid plan, okay, thank you, Terry. When you purchase a paid plan, there are no apps that come with your plan. That is something that you or your admin user, if you're an admin user, would decide what you're looking to install. So again, if I click on the app marketplace and the app's icons, I can learn more information about pricing and whether or not my plan supports that. For the most part, most of the apps in the app marketplace require setting up an automation to utilize certain aspects of the app. So if you are not on the standard plan or higher, you may not be able to utilize that app because automations and integrations are not available on the basic plan. So if you would like access to apps where you can utilize an automation, then standard plan and higher. I see a question about weekly reports with my board's information. So on a board, we have all of this great visual data. Here you'll see that I have a dashboard view. So what I did is external to this main table tab, I click this plus icon and I've added a blank view, which is this dashboard here. And from this dashboard view, I can add a myriad of different widgets to visualize my data in different ways. So whether I would like to see a general to-do list, whether I would like to have a high-level view of all of the hours, contracted hours worked by ABC employees, or see a different timeline, calendar, timeline, Gantt view of all of my tasks and responsibilities. You can utilize this to create sort of like a reporting dashboard, sorry. And this is specific to my board. But let's say that you want to report metrics for 5 different boards. If I click on the plus icon here, and then select New Dashboard, what this allows me to do is create a central place to visualize my data for multiple boards across my accounts in one place. So you'll see here that I have two connected boards. And now for this dashboard, any widget that I add will pull in the data from all of those connected boards into the displays here. And I can set filters to customize what I would and would not like to see. So if I go to Monday Sales CRM, this is a much prettier view. I'll pull up one of my sales dashboards, and you can see I have customized these different widgets to show, for example, all of my revenue for my active deals, the average value of one deals, and so forth. And so you can utilize this to report on data across several boards. And if you are displaying your boards on a meeting, on a TV screen or a computer screen, sorry, during a meeting, you can also display your dashboard during a meeting. So that's another way to utilize dashboards for high-level views. And I will take two more questions. Let's see. Let me take some of the new ones that just came in. Okay, we have a question specific to my invoices board. Okay, this is a great question, a question that I hear a lot. Let's go back to this was my invoices board. So, specifically for forms, if you have set up a form, and actually, let me go back to my demo form. Hopefully you are not getting dizzy with the back and forth. Let me pull up my demo form just so that I can show you all this. So if you have ever set up a new form on the platform and you're wondering, why in the world am I seeing incoming form answer? This is not helpful. It's not practical. I hear you. So this incoming form answer is essentially a placeholder. So if I go back to this maintenance request form, you'll notice that that does not appear there. So if I go to my form and I click Edit Form, Customize, on the settings on the right-hand side, there is a section here called monday.com settings. And here you'll notice that the first setting, include name question in form, has been selected. If I click on the info icon, it says include the board's first column in the form. And so this first column is your item name column. But by default, if you've created a new form, it is deselected. So you may not see that first field there, but in my form, I have included it. So if I were to deselect this, you'll see that the tenant full name question field has disappeared. But because I have included to enable in the form, my first column, my item name column, now appears as a question field for the individual to complete. So if you would like to replace incoming form answer as a name, as a date, as etc., you can definitely include that and replace that feature. All right, I am going to answer one more question. All right, we have one about connections on a board. If I want to connect to other boards to mirror that information, what is the new max? So this will be dependent on your plan, Melissa. Um, although the connections, let me find MondayDB uh, right here. Although the connections have been expanded for mirror columns for connected boards across accounts, this is still in gradual release. So if you aren't seeing an expansion, especially if you're on the enterprise plan for connected boards, whether that's in your board, your dashboard, this is still coming. So it's still being gradually released, but within this upcoming year, you should see expansions. I don't have the exact number, Melissa, but I am going to link the MondayDB site so that you can view those details specifically on the site. It should be listed here. Okay. With that said, we have 2 minutes before 11:30 my time here in Chicago, but I want to thank all of you for staying behind past the allotted time for this webinar. Again, thank you so much for your patience. I apologize for the inconvenience and the confusion. You should all receive an email in the next 3 business days with a link to the session recording, as well as a CSAT survey. Please provide all of the feedback for me so that we can continue to improve the webinars. And you should also see the recorded session on our monday.com Academy and YouTube channel next week. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day.